Tuesday afternoon. It's been a while since I was on YouTube. Been doing a good bit of Instagramming and podcasting, but haven't been on YouTube a huge amount over the last 4 weeks for a couple of different reasons that I don't really want to get into. But here I am now. The reason why I'm on, I don't even know when I'm going to put this video up. If I do, it's going to be after the race. The half marathon is on Sunday, so today is Tuesday. And over the last couple of weeks, I'm now in week 6, just at the beginning of week 6 of Valencia marathon training. The last time I was on YouTube, it was to give an update on week 1. So there's been I've done 4 weeks of training, and my fitness has come on a lot. I'm feeling really strong. I'm doing some really good running. At the weekend just passed, there's a group, I coach a running club, and a couple of them were going out to a run, and they were doing 5 times 4 kilometers at marathon pace, which is, for me, marathon pace is going to be about, if I'm going for this 305, it's going to be like 4:22 per kilometer. But these guys were going at 4:15. It was 2 of the girls, so I went with them, and I wasn't confident that I was going to run the whole thing for 5 sets of 4 kilometers at 4:15, but I did. I ran it really well. I felt very comfortable. I finished really strong, so that's like a really good sign. Like I said, my fitness is really coming on. I've been doing a good bit of volume, so what I'm doing this year is I'm following the same training plan that I used last year for Valencia. I wrote myself. It was an adaptation of a couple of things. I used to train with John Starrett in Stas Stables. A little bit of what he does, a little bit of what I do, a little bit of just stuff I've learned from different coaches over the years that I had all amalgamated last year. And it served me really well last year. So I just thought, if I do that again this year and add a little bit of volume whenever I can, and try and add a little bit of intensity to the session, so make them just tiny little bit more intense than last year. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So last week just passed, I think I totaled 97 kilometers over the week, and the week before that was 91. And it's weird, I didn't see that happening. I didn't plan at the start of the week to run over 90. I wanted to get a couple of weeks this year over 80. I think the highest volume I did last year was 81 kilometers. I think I hit that once. So this year I've already done 2. So anyway, so my fitness is good. My fitness is definitely going in the right direction, but my confidence hasn't come a long way with it. I raced the Frank Duffy 10 mile, and I planned it really well, and I raced it really well, but I raced it really conservatively. I didn't overextend myself. I didn't exert myself. I wanted to run it in around about 70 minutes. I think it was 70 minutes and 30 seconds. And the reason I wanted to go at just average about that 4:22, which is what I need in the marathon in Valencia to get a PB. And I did that really well, but I finished with a lot in the tank. I had a video up on Instagram, and you can see from it that when I crossed the finish, I have a video of the sprint, I wasn't overexerting myself. And I think part of the reason why I wasn't is that my confidence in racing isn't particularly high, even though my fitness is really good. And now this weekend, one of the girls who I ran with last week, she's going for a 127 this weekend. And I'm not even sure that I'll break 130. And she's like, oh, you got to come with us. We're definitely going to run 127, which will be a PB for me. And I said at the outset of this year that the plan for this year would be to get a PB in either the half marathon or the marathon. So yeah, I guess, I don't know, there's another guy, he wasn't around the weekend, but he's going for 127 as well, so the 3 of us could run together. But I don't have the confidence that I could stay with them, even though when I run with them on Sunday, I think I'm equally as good as they are at the moment in terms of fitness and strength. So I don't know what to do, and that's why I'm making this video. I'm hoping that I'll come up with some answers over the week. But for the moment, on Tuesday afternoon, and I haven't run, I had a rest day yesterday, and I should run today. I'll run this evening. Got to coach the running club, but maybe I'll speak to them tonight at the running club and see what it is exactly they're doing for that race, what the goal is. But yeah, like I said, at the weekend just passed, I ran 5 times. I ran 4 kilometers at 4:15 average. I think the middle one we dropped to 4:20. And then the first 2 were 4:15 average, the last 2 were 4:15. The last kilometre I finished was 3:55. I just pushed it on the last one. If that was somebody I was coaching and they had that on paper, I would say 100% you're going to run under 130. But I don't know. I haven't raced particularly well in a long time. I haven't been under 130 since I think 2014 in the half marathon. And I think that's probably what's playing in the back of my mind, that I think it's passed me by, but we'll see how the week goes. I certainly think all things happen for a reason. I did an interview on my podcast during the week with a guy called Jack Beresford Allen, and we talked about his running journey, and particularly spoke about his him chasing times. And he mentioned, he throws out these kind of times that he says he's going to do, and comes up short sometimes, but in coming up short still has these massive PBs. I kind of listened to him. It was quite inspirational listening to him saying it, because I think I used to be like that when I was younger. I didn't have a problem with saying I was going to do a certain time, and if I didn't hit it, then it didn't really bother me too much, because like I said, you probably would have got a PB on the way. So he gave me a little bit of perspective in terms of how I should think about this weekend with the half marathon. So I think I'm just going to go for it. I think I'm just going to get on the start line. I'm close to being in shape to run a PB. It will be 1:28 something. I don't think I will get the PB, but I could certainly be around 1:29, certainly under 1:30. So that's what I'm going to do this weekend. I'm just going to give it a bash. I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to I was initially thinking I'll just run the race kind of conservatively and try and pick it up to marathon pace and finish really strong. But then I thought, I've done that a heap of times. I know I can do that. I'm absolutely certain I can do that. But that's not really going to give me anything from it. So I'm going to give it a bit of a bash. If it all falls apart, then it all falls apart. I know I can do the other way. So why not try do it the hard way and see what happens? Because I did say at the start of the year on this platform that the goal for the year was to get a PB. And I know that I can only really get that now in either the half marathon or the marathon. So yeah, I'll figure out, I'll have a look back on Strava and find out what the actual half marathon time was. I think it was in the Rock and Roll Dublin half marathon in 2014 or 2015. It was like a long time ago. And maybe because it's so long, that's why I don't have the confidence to think that I'll do it again. Like, I'm 10 years older now. Anyway, I'll check it out and I'll figure out what the actual time is and have a think about it. Right, I'm just down at the finish line of the half marathon. I ran it this morning. I said I was going to give it a bash. I didn't bring the camera because I wanted to just really focus and concentrate on the race. I said on the start of this year on this channel that the goal for the year was to try and PB some race, either the half marathon or the marathon were the most likely ones, because the times I have in my younger years, the 5k and the 10k are just, I don't think they're going to come back now that I'm 47. I'll be 48 in 2 weeks time. Yeah. But I just ran a PB in the half marathon. I'm absolutely ecstatic. Around 1:28.07. I haven't run that fast before. Average pace of 4:09, which was just, I didn't really have the confidence, as I was saying, during the week, but a couple of things happened during the week that just made me think that I should go for it, and I did, and it's just been absolutely fantastic. I cannot express how elated I am to be able to get a PB. I thought these days were passy, but it just feels so good to be able to do it. And the other thing as well is that as I'm standing here at the finish line, there's a ton of people who have come up to me who watch the YouTube videos. There's probably been about 10 or 12 people, and they've been asking where I've been over the last couple of weeks, maybe the last month. I haven't uploaded a video. I just had a lot of stuff going on. I didn't have the confidence to come on and talk because I've just had stuff going on. I've been doing Instagram, but just YouTube was just a bit of a stretch. Yeah, just a couple of things going on. But anyway, I'm back now. I've done the PB. I'm absolutely delighted. I'm going to go home and wrap up this video, and then I'll be back on with some more videos pretty soon. Okay, so I finished the race and got home, got cleaned up, and then decided to go into Dublin City Centre. I had a few things I needed to do. I wanted to have a nice pint of Guinness after the race to celebrate, and I ended up having to run for the train. Yeah, my legs were pretty sore, and it was like literally sprinting down the track to catch onto the train. Didn't want to miss it. Yeah, so anyway, the race finished up pretty well. I was absolutely delighted with how it went. I didn't really see it coming. I don't want to sound contrite in this, but if the breaking the 90 minutes was really easy compared to when the last time I broke 90 minutes was in 2014. But I went into this race kind of knowing that I would just do it, just because of the amount of training I've been doing and the stuff I've been doing with the calorie output. I think has made a massive difference to my ability to find energy in the race. The last 2 kilometers of that race, I ran them at I think it was 3:56 per kilometer for the second last kilometer, and 3:51 I think, and then I took it down to 3:22 per kilometer just for the last 200 meters. So I was able to find a lot of energy to do that. And that did surprise me. So I ended up negative splitting the half marathon, which is just the best way you can run any long distance races, to do it in a negative split. I finished pretty hard, finished pretty fast. I think I raced it perfectly. I don't think I could have went any quicker by changing the strategy. I went out pretty conservatively. There's a couple of hills in that race. So what I was doing was, when I was running downhill, I was just trying to maintain the intensity and not worry about the speed. So going downhill, there was a couple of kilometers in there where I was running down around the low 4s. But I knew then that I would end up having to run back up the hill. So what I was doing is, on one of the hills when I ran down, my watch clicked, the kilometer was 4:01. So I knew I needed to be under 4:15 per kilometer. So what I would do then on the uphill, then I knew I had 15 or let's say 12 seconds banked from the previous kilometer. So when I was going uphill, I knew all I need to do was just maintain the intensity. Don't worry about the pace. So the pace would drop down on one of the hills. I think one of them came in at maybe about 4:22, but I knew that the 7 seconds lost on that 4:22 had already been made up on the 4:02 where I ran down the hill. So that's what I was doing throughout the whole race, just trying to maintain that intensity. I kind of thought going into it that I'd be able to hold about 4:11 per kilometer over the whole race and come in around like low 129, but actually it turned out I was able to hold it at 4:09 per kilometer, and like I said, come in at that 128 and 7 seconds. So yeah, I was absolutely chuffed at how it went. The training's going really well, the fitness is really well. I did have a little bit of I wasn't particularly confident with my racing. Even like doing Valencia, the races that I've done over the last couple of years, I haven't had the confidence, just because I haven't raced well in a long time. But the last couple of races I did here, the Dublin half marathon at the start of the year that I did, that went really well. I wasn't particularly fit then, but I raced it well and finished it well, and gave me a little bit of confidence. The 10k race I did in the summer went awful, and that was kind of a setback. But then I did 1 or 2 5Ks that went really well, just park run races. And then what did I do? The Frank Duffy 10 mile, I kind of went into that not running it hard and fast, but just went in with a strategy that I needed. I knew I needed to build a bit of confidence, and I did. And now in this, since the Frank Duffy 10 mile, I've done a couple of really long and hard Sunday runs where I was pushing that marathon pace and was doing that, but feeling very comfortable at that marathon pace. So I knew going into this I could push this race a little bit more and really go for that PB, because like I said, that was really the goal at the start of the year, was just to find a PB in any race. I did say that it was probably, if it was going to happen, it was probably going to happen in the marathon, because I didn't think I could run that fast again in the half marathon. So I was absolutely delighted with it. It's all going really well. So the next race will be the Dublin Marathon. I won't be racing that per se. That's just going to be like a hard training day. I'll be running with lots of my club mates. I coach the running club, so there's lots of them doing that, and I'll jump in. I'll get myself around that. I will run it kind of conservatively, kind of like the Frank Duffy. I'll go into it with a particular pace. I'm not sure what it will be yet, in the hope that for the last 5k I can take it up to like what I want to do in my marathon pace. So the goal is to get a PB in Valencia. So if I go around 3:05, I'll be delighted, and that's running at 4:22 per kilometre. So we'll see how it goes. I'll see how the next couple of weeks goes, and I'll definitely know the pace I'm going to run Dublin at. Probably try and do it at around about 4:35 per kilometre, and then drop to 4:22 for the last 5k. That's kind of what I'm thinking now. I'll know a little bit close to the date, but that's it. Absolutely delighted with the PB. I was so happy yesterday when I crossed the finish line. I just started crying. I was crying for ages. And the girl, there was a lady, gave me my medal, and as I walked off, she came up behind me, she grabbed my shoulder. She's like, "I want to give you a big hug." And I was like, "These are tears of joy." And she goes, "No, I know, I can get it." But I went up then and met all my club mates. There was a big gang of us there. There was lots of PBs. Everybody was really happy. Most people, I think, were really happy with how they raced. Either got themselves back in shape and ran a good race, or managed to get themselves a PB. So overall, absolutely fantastic day. I really enjoyed it. But most of all, like I said, there was probably about 10 or 12 people came up to me, 1 or 2 before the race, maybe a handful of people through the race kind of shouting at me, and then at the end, like just around that finish area, I was waiting for my sister to finish. There was loads of people coming up to me asking me why I'd stopped making the videos, where I was, what I was doing. So yeah, I promised everybody that I spoke to, well, I knew I'd been making this video, so I was like, look, I'll be back on. So I'm back now. I'll keep throwing up a few videos between now and Dublin and then Valencia. So that's it. Anyway, guys, you know what to do. Run far, run fast, most of all, run sensible.